Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather, and in today's video I am super excited to give you the breakdown of my recent craft show. So I am going to go over with you everything that I sold and some overall notes and thoughts about how things went. But first I'm going to insert some footage of me setting up for the craft show and then also an overview of my booth. So I'm going to show you that now, and then I'll pop back on to go over the results. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed seeing me setting up for my craft show and showing you my booth and everything, so you can have an idea of everything that I brought with me and my setup and all of that. If you want to see a full breakdown of everything that I brought, you can check out my last video, and I shared with you everything that I'm bringing to my craft show. Alright, so I have a notebook here with me with everything that I sold, and then some notes as well about overall how things went. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. So I set up on Friday night, which was actually really nice because I got to take my time to set up and make sure everything was exactly how I wanted it. And I wasn't super stressed with hurrying up and getting it all done before the craft show started. And it was in a gym, and there was a side door, so I was easily able to unload everything and bring it in, and I didn't have to go too far between the car and where my booth was, which was really nice. So setting up was super easy. And then the craft show was on a Saturday from 9 to 3, and I actually made back my booth fee within the first half an hour of the event, which was super exciting. It was definitely off to a good start. I had someone come and buy multiple items, so it was like a big purchase. That's why I made it back so fast. And it definitely made me think that that's how it was gonna go, since I sold so many things right at the start. But it was a lot slower throughout the whole crash show. I just sold things here and there. It wasn't like a big purchase or anything like that. Like, that was the most items that I sold at a time. Alright, so now let's get into everything that sold, and I'll have all of the pattern designs linked below in case you're interested in making any of these. And as I'm talking, I will try to pop up a picture on the screen of the plushie that I'm talking about, so that way you know what I'm talking about, because I like when other crocheters do that, because they're just talking about a crochet whale, and I'm like, oh, what does that look like, you know? So anyway, I'm going to put the pictures up on the screen of what I'm talking about. So first off, I sold 6 of my tiny little chicks. And I was actually surprised that I didn't sell more than 6 of them, because I thought these were going to be super popular because I think they're adorable, and I was selling them for a low price point. It was actually like the cheapest thing I had, that and my little whales. So I sold 6 of those. And then my most popular item were my tiny little whales, and I sold 7 of those. And I'm actually surprised that that was the most popular thing, because I would not have guessed that. I probably would have guessed the tiny chicks or my tiny turtles or something, but it was actually the little whales. I sold 7 of those. And then I sold 6 of my little chubby frogs, and I put some little pink bows on some of them, and then some of them just didn't have a bow on them. And this was the first time that I brought the little frogs with the pink bow to a craft show or event, so I wasn't sure how people were gonna like them. And people love these, you guys. Like, so many people commented on them. They thought they were adorable. And so once I sold out of all 4 of the ones with the pink bows, I actually ended up adding pink bows onto some of the other ones. So I would sell one and I would add another pink bow to another one, and I sold it and add another one. So yeah, I definitely need to make more of them with the pink bows for my next craft show, because they were super popular. So I sold 6 of those. And then I sold 1 of my little octos. I sold 1 capybara. I sold 2 of my axolotls, which I'm surprised I didn't sell more capybaras or axolotls, because I feel like these are like super popular. And I only sold 1 capybara and then 2 axolotls. I think it had to do with the placement of where they were in my display, because they were on the bucket shelves, kind of like tucked in the corner. So probably they got overlooked and people didn't really see them. So I might try to put them in a different spot next time, and maybe they will sell better. And then I sold 6 of my tiny turtles. I sold 2 of my little cats. I sold my Santa turtle, which I only had 1 of these, and if I had more, I might have sold more, but I just had the 1, and it sold right in the beginning. It was part of that large purchase that I mentioned. And then I sold 1 otter. I sold 2 of my mallard ducks. I sold one of my small penguins, and then I sold one of the smaller possums. And then I also sold my jumbo possum, which I only had one of them, and I sold that. And then I sold one of the jumbo penguins, which I'm surprised I didn't sell more of the jumbo penguins. I thought those were going to be popular, but I just sold one of those. And then I sold my Yeti, and I just had the one. If I had more, I might have sold them, but I only had one, and I sold that right at the beginning. And then I sold 4 of my chicks and an egg, and these were so popular in the sense that people were like loving them and commenting on them all the time. So I would definitely recommend making some chicks and an egg if you have a craft show coming up and you haven't tried them out yet, because they are a big attention grabber and a lot of people love them. And I walked around the craft show and I actually didn't see any other crocheters selling them. So I think it's a more unique item that not everyone has, and a lot of people really love them. So I feel like it's something you should try out if you haven't yet, because they might be a good seller. I only had one left too, because I made 5 of them, so I sold 4 out of the 5. So I feel like that's pretty good. And then I sold one of my fruit snails, and I sold the apple one. I sold 2 of the rainbow dinosaurs that I had all lined up in rainbow order. And I think I sold the dark blue one and then the pink one. And then I sold one of my Tiana turtles. I think it was the teal one that I sold. And I sold 2 of my standing cows. And that's everything that I sold. So in total, I sold 51 plushies, which is the most amount of plushies that I've sold at a craft show or event so far. So that was pretty good. And you're probably all waiting to hear how much money I made. So in total, I made $592. And the booth fee was $100. So if you subtract that, I made $492, but that's not including any of the costs of supplies or anything like that. So that's just subtracting the booth fee. So overall, I would say it was a pretty successful craft show, and I'm really happy with how it went. And I feel like I got a good feel of like my setup and what things are popular and stuff like that. So I know what I need to make more of for my big craft show coming up, and I definitely need to get on restocking everything that is sold, because I only have a couple of weeks until my next craft show. So I'm going to be very busy restocking everything that's sold. But that is my market recap and how everything went and everything that sold. Let's see, I did have a couple of notes. Oh, I know. So I wanted to note that I was very surprised that I didn't sell more of my Christmas plushies, because I had like an entire display, just all Christmas plushies, and I only sold 2 things off that whole display. So that was very surprising to me, because this craft show was in November and I was thinking, oh, Christmas is coming up, you know, people might want cute Christmas plushies for decorations or for gifts or stuff like that. And I only sold 2, so that was very surprising. So I spent all that time making all those Christmas plushies and they didn't really sell. So that was a bit of a bummer. And something to know about this craft show was that there was a lot of competition. There was probably at least 12 other booths that were selling crochet plushies. So I do think that impacted my sales. I think I would have sold a lot more had there not been so much competition. So that's just something to note. And then the other thing I wanted to note was requests that people had made, and they were asking for specific items that I didn't have. So I'm going to try to make some of these for a next craft show, but I wanted to share it with you in case you're wondering, like, I don't know, like maybe what you should make or something and you wanted more ideas. So I'm going to let you know some things that people requested that I didn't have. So someone asked for a husky. I had 2 people ask for a raccoon and a squirrel, which I didn't have either of those. And then someone asked for a lion. Someone asked if I had any bunnies, which I had bunnies before, but I've sold them all, so I definitely need to make some more of those. Then someone asked if I had a shark, which I didn't. I have ever made a shark, so maybe I need to find a shark pattern. And then I had 2 people ask if I had a flamingo, which this one was really surprising to me because I feel like it's like really random. And that's not an animal that I would think people would request, but I had 2 people ask if I had flamingos, which I've never made a flamingo before, so I think I'm going to try to make some for my next craft show since I had multiple requests for that. So yeah, those were all items that people asked if I had, and I didn't have any of those. So I'm going to try to make some of them for the next craft show and see if they sell well. But anyway, that is the breakdown of how it went, and thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!